Welcome back. As the government shutdown enters a second day, the Trump administration is taking aim at New York. White House Budget Director Russ Vought announced a freeze on $18 billion in federal funding for two New York City infrastructure projects. The long-awaited projects include a rail tunnel under the Hudson River and an extension of the 2nd Avenue subway line. The administration is citing the shutdown and blaming Democratic leadership from New York, with the Department of Transportation calling it the Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries shutdown. Joining us now is former New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. Mayor de Blasio, what is your reaction to the White House freezing $18 billion that was supposed to go to these infrastructure and transit projects?
Anna, I believe it's entirely illegal. What they're freezing is going to hurt people, hurt Americans, not just New Yorkers. You know, they've talked about, in addition to infrastructure, freezing security aid, anti-terrorism dollars to the NYPD. The NYPD has spoken out and said that's going to endanger people and go against the interests of our national security. Well, the same with infrastructure. If you're going to undermine the infrastructure of this nation, because what we're talking about with that Gateway Tunnel, that is crucial to the future of our entire Northeast Rail corridor. You're talking about millions and millions of people being affected over time and the strength of our economy. I mean, it's just patently unconstitutional for a president to say he doesn't like a policy of a city or a state, so he's going to withhold funding. In fact, Anna, there was a Supreme Court decision. We fought this same fight with President Trump in his first term. A Supreme Court decision written by Chief Justice Roberts a few years ago that said the federal government doesn't get to withhold funding over policy disagreements once it's been authorized, because our federal system acknowledges that states and cities, by extension, have a right to that funding.
And yet we're seeing that happen throughout this administration so far, and they basically are saying, so sue us, so take us to court, let's do the battle there. Do you think this move moves the needle for Democrats in this moment during the shutdown fight? Does it make them more motivated to end the shutdown?
I don't think so, Anna. I'm not on Capitol Hill, but I would tell you I think it's the opposite, because you're right that we go to court. Well, we went to court during the first Trump administration. We beat him on this very same idea when he was trying to withhold security funding because of sanctuary city status. This is even bigger, even worse. It's security funding and infrastructure funding. I don't think it stands. I think if you look at the batting average in the courts, the Trump administration has lost on these kind of matters consistently so far. So I truly believe they will not prevail. But in terms of what Democrats are feeling, I think it's showing everyday Americans, New Yorkers, people in Connecticut, people in New Jersey, everyone affected by this directly, that Trump is more interested in his own political needs, his own political agenda, than actually serving people. This is money to actually provide services to people, transportation to people, for example, security to people. I think it makes Trump look even more extremist. And certainly we're seeing more and more in the polling. Not only Democrats, independents and Republicans don't like this extremism coming out of the White House.
As we mentioned, the Department of Transportation actually put out an official statement blaming Democratic leaders Schumer and Jeffries, both of New York. What sort of position do these cuts put them in?
Well, I think, again, you're going to see Democrats feel that because it was time to no longer be complicit, to no longer attempt compromise with an extremist Republican administration, I imagine that Democrats will stand behind them in terms of the shutdown and why they're doing the shutdown. They're doing the shutdown because of all the horrible cuts to human services, to health care, to the needs of everyday working Americans that have come out of the Trump administration. I think everyday Americans will see what's motivating this. But the targeting actually, again, suggests that they're doing something right. And this is the whole point. When the president attacks the Senate Minority Leader and the House Minority Leader because they're defending things like health care, because they think we need to fix our infrastructure or we need to make sure we have security funding to stop terrorism, who loses in that equation? The president will lose in that equation because he's doing something arbitrary that hurts people.
We're talking about, being put in a weird spot for some of these lawmakers. Republican Congressman Mike Lawler of New York has expressed concern over this funding freeze, releasing a statement saying he strongly opposes these what he calls harmful cuts that he says undermine counterterrorism efforts, as you've pointed out, and critical infrastructure projects in New York. Again, he is a Republican that is representing the state of New York, people who commute from his district into New York City. So this was a rare moment of Republicans or a Republican speaking out against the administration. What's your reaction?
I think you're going to see a lot more of it, Anna, because every Republican in the tri-state area, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, they're now in harm's way because of what Trump has done. They are literally being asked to vote against their own people, to hurt working people in their own communities. And if they don't do that, then they'll be on the outs with Trump. Well, as you have seen with politics many times, and famous Tip O'Neill quote, all politics is local. When Mike Lawler, who's been very loyal to Trump, says, I can't live with this, that's a sign that his constituents can't live with it and that his seat is now in danger. Well, they just went and forced a redistricting arbitrarily on Texas. Well, what this is doing now puts certainly a handful of seats in the tri-state area, a handful of congressional seats in play again for the Democrats even more, because the constituents in those districts now see that Trump is actively trying to hurt them.
I want to pivot to the New York City mayoral race. The president's been very outspoken about his disdain for Democratic candidate Zohran Mamdani, and President Trump has actually threatened to withhold federal funding if Mamdani is elected. Here's Mamdani responding yesterday.
This is just one of the many threats that Donald Trump makes. Every day he wakes up, he makes another threat, a lot of the times about the city that he actually comes from. And what is angering to me is not what Donald Trump does, because we've come to expect that from him. But it's the idea that we have to accept that as the law, the idea that we have to accept that as normal. We have to fight that, because we know not only is it an overreach from a federal administration, it's an example of what he's done elsewhere.
Some Democrats have compared these threats and other moves by President Trump as mafioso tactics. What is your advice on how Democrats should respond in this moment?
I have the playbook from 4 years of dealing with him as mayor. He's a classic bully. He tries to intimidate. You have to proverbially smack him in the face and back him off. And that means going to court. That means standing up to him publicly. That means going after his allies who are vulnerable, like the Mike Lawler example, and showing there will be real consequences for his actions. I mean, if by doing what he's done now, these threats to New York actually lead to him losing the Congress, which is perfectly plausible. We're talking about a handful of seats. So then Donald Trump, because of his overreach, will have stabbed his own party in the back in the process. Well, a lot of people are not going to feel comfortable with that. And they're going to get the message if they think those seats are actually vulnerable, there'll actually be pressure on the White House from within the Republican Party. So I think it's about standing up and showing that we're going to fight him every step of the way, and also reminding people this is not about politics. This is about everyday people. I thought when the NYPD came out, and look, a lot of people have their assumptions about the law enforcement community, where they stand politically. Well, I'll tell you something. When the NYPD is deprived of security funding to stop terrorism, it becomes immediately not about politics. It becomes about their central mission of saving lives. The NYPD will not stand for the resources they need being taken away by Washington in such a callous manner. That's going to create another type of pressure on Trump when it becomes clear he's undermining public safety in the largest city in the nation.
Former Mayor Bill de Blasio from New York City, thank you so much.